Good morning, everybody. It's early, I'm sleepy, but I'm excited to get going because things are finally moving along at my place and I just feel like I've got some momentum. So I'm up early to keep pushing on. This video is a long one and it's packed with stuff. I finally do a job that I've been meaning to do for probably over a year, and finishing this off will change my life. It's just going to make everything so much easier. I also work on the lintel. This lintel has been going up and down from the top of the window to my workbench for weeks, maybe even months, and Sinead has been helping me lift it every time because it's just too heavy for me. She doesn't think this is a job that will ever end. She's not convinced I'll ever get this thing in place, but let's see if I do. So watch until the end of the video to see if I finally get this lintel in place. Plus, there's loads of other stuff that happens, including some major land works down at Sinead's. So we'll visit her and see what's up down there. Spoiler alert, it involves a digger and it's all very exciting. So enough talking, let's just get straight into the video. I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you again at the end. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day, even though it's a bit windy and there's a chill in the air. But the sun is shining and I'm not feeling sleepy this morning. I feel very energized. Whereas last week I was feeling super sluggish. Now I'm ready to go and I've already been doing a little bit of work. I've finished off the removal of the spray foam disaster from the window box and I've painted over the stuff that I couldn't get off. So that's done. I've also done a bit more work on the lintel. It's back down and it's ready to go, and I stained the top part of it with the same stuff I used on the window box just to protect it in the wall a little better. And I'm gonna get going on that, but first I've been reminded gently, some people might call it a nag, I'll call it a gentle reminder, from my parents that there's things that I just haven't gotten done, things that I keep meaning to do, and top of that list is cleaning the polytunnel. And I'm gonna do that right now because as soon as I get this thing cleaned out, it gives me a workspace undercover, and there's a bunch of rain on the horizon and I don't want the rain continually stopping my carpentry work, and I don't really want to do it inside. And so my first task for the day is to clean out this abomination. It's a disaster. It's like a bomb hit it. I feel some shame showing you this, but I'm gonna feel some pride when I actually get it cleaned, and I'm gonna do it the fast way. We're gonna do it with a snap. So here it is, guys. The clean polytunnel. It took me about 3 hours and I can actually walk all the way to the back, and I have things mostly organized. I've got a bucket of miscellaneous things that I don't know what they are, bucket of safety stuff. I've got the screws and nails lined up. This is all my measuring things. This is the long tools I use the most, some other stuff I don't use very often. The plastering stuff I don't use very often, stuff I do. These are all the tools I use most often. Got some painting stuff, some mysterious chemicals, miscellaneous crap. I think there's some electrical things in there. Some glass bottles up here, and tape and rope and stuff like that. Obviously, I've got loads of wood. There's some cork under here. There's some random things like hessian and that stuff there. Wood that will be used for random building projects, and my future Christmas tree, the wonky Christmas tree stand, will be coming out fairly soon. And then over here I've got a small wheelbarrow of stuff that's going to go down to the bottom polytunnel, which is now a nightmare zone. But I'll get to that another day. You might have also noticed some progress on the front of the house. I've basically just moved the trees and tidied things up a little bit, and my next step up here is to design a pergola, build a little stone wall here out of these long granite stones, and come up with some design to make a covered area. What do you think about that, little guy? Something to climb on? Huh? He's a surprisingly good climber for such a chubster. So I think the cats will like having some kind of structure up there as much as I will. So I'm very relieved about this polytunnel. It's one of those things that Now I'm wondering why I didn't clean it earlier, but there's just always stuff that gets in the way. And I move slowly, I just do. But you know who doesn't move slowly? It's Sinead. She's got a digger down on her land and they've been going for it. I can just hear it. It's been going nonstop and she's got lots of big plans. So I'm gonna go down there and check out to see what she's got going on. And then it'll be back up to get to work on the lintel, which I will finish today, come hell or high water. It's been dragging on for way too long now and I just need to get this thing in place. So I've popped down to Sinead's place where, as usual, stuff is happening at crazy speed. Do you wanna, whoops. And the ground has become treacherous because we have a digger on site and it's been doing stuff.
Yes, it was a surprise. It was a bit of a surprise. I didn't actually think it was going to turn up today. So it was on my walk for a pee that there I found a digger, and here they are ready to go.
It happens.
It happens.
Sometimes
it happens
in the
unexpectedly.
Country, you go for a pee in the morning in your pajamas and you encounter a digger.
So I had an early morning meeting with some digger men in my pajamas.
As you do.
So yeah, what's going on? We're widening the road.
So that's this.
Road widening. We're going to put in drainage because it's a bit of a waterfall in the rain. Over there was treacherous. There was a bit where vehicles were going into the river, so we put in another culvert. Over here, we're doing trenches for electricity and plumbing, and we're going to do like a little culvert as well. I'm not sure if culvert is the correct word, and then I'll do a bridge on top of that.
All right. And this is the fig tree. She's looking
great.
She's looking great.
Walk on. There is water getting into my house, so I'm going to do a French drain around the bottom of it. As you can see here, look at that water down there.
That's it?
Yeah.
It's just pooling. Oh,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. There is a suspected spring possibly in this area.
A suspected spring by the corner of your house is not ideal.
Not ideal, not ideal, but
there's ways to solve these problems.
It's to be monitored. And then so on this side of the road we'll do a drain that will go into a trench that will go into the river, and then at the top of the road I'm also going to do a drain and redirect the water that's coming down the hill into the field. Right. I now have access to the yurt on my treacherous road, and then I have trenches for water.
Trenches for days.
Trenches for days, yeah. Trenches for water and for electricity. And then we're going to do another pipe under the road here for water for now, and in the future electricity cable. Yeah.
So it's all happening.
It's all happening. Wasn't really how I planned Monday, but that's what happened.
Surprise diggers are fun and very productive. I did a lot of my own work, digging my French drain, clearing out my parking space by hand, and that was probably quite foolish.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No,
so
sorry.
This is what's happening now, and I will check in again when more progress has been made, but it's been about 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
And they have tore the place up. In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
So this is Sinead's water source. She's got a pump already. And this is the trench. And it really is amazing to see what a digger can do in such a short amount of time. I'm pretty sure it's only 35 euros an hour for the digger, so that's definitely value for money, especially when you see what it can do in really no time at all. And this guy's a Portuguese dude, and he knows his stuff. He's done loads of land work, and yeah, trust that he knows what he's doing. So that's half the battle, kind of. And yeah, digger for the win.
For the win, man. Digger for the win.
Okay, it's lintel time. I've got some glue. I've got some old sawdust from a long time ago. And I'm going to attempt to make a little mixture with glue, water, and sawdust to fill this crack. And then I was going to plane it, but I think I might try to get away with just sanding. So I've attempted to do this many times in the past, and I think the problem that I've had is that I didn't mix water into the glue, so everything was just way too gloopy and thick, and it just didn't work. But now I'm gonna give this a try, and fingers crossed, it makes a mixture that'll work for me. A bit more. This is probably a way too large container for what I need to do, but it's what I have. A little bit of water. Mixy, mixy. Bit more glue. Bit more mixy, mixy. And then, the fun part, let's get some sawdust in here and see what it does. Satisfying. I never really know the exact consistency I need. This seems a little bit too runny. Who knows? Certainly not me, that's for sure. It seems to be pretty good. So let's stick it in the crack. I feel like just sticking it in with my fingers is probably the best bet. It seems like it doesn't have enough glue in it. It seems a little runny, but at least it's going in easily, so hopefully it surprises me. Maybe I can push it in with this little guy, or maybe it just drags it out. I really don't know. I could be making a total mess of this, actually. I think I am. I'm gonna start over. I think this needs more glue. Goodbye. Farewell. See you later. Okay, I've got a bit more glue, a little bit more sawdust, and hopefully this new concoction will seem a little sturdier. Seems a bit better. All right, I think this is a winner. I think this will work much better. And the idea is you get it into the crack, let it dry for a little while, and then come back and sand it all away. So getting stuff on the top, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna sand this all to be very smooth. I was a little worried about the height difference between these two pieces, and I was gonna get the planer out, but I don't know. My fear with the planer is that I just end up with like all kinds of different lines. I'm not very good with the planer. What you really need is a thickness planer in a case like this where you run it through the whole machine and it does it all at once to one level, whereas this planer that I have, it's just a handheld planer. And yeah, you kind of are doing a whole bunch of passes and I could end up just making everything a lot worse. So I'll see what I can do with the sander, and if it's not working for me, I'll give the planer a try. There's something extremely satisfying about this stuff, though, I gotta say. Will this work? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. Come back soon and hit it with the sander. So while I wait for the weird sawdust glue concoction to dry, I've been to Central Forest, where I've collected hopefully enough pine needles for about maybe a month if I'm lucky. And I spotted some mushrooms on the way. This one, I think, is a puffball, a little baby one, and they can be edible. These ones I think might be the same, and I think there's some kind of a bollete because they've got this spongy underside. And this one I have no idea, but it looks like the perfect mushroom. It's beautiful. And so I picked a few. There's so many mushrooms down there, just so I can identify them. I think it's totally okay to pick mushrooms that you're not intending on eating if it's for learning purposes, and I definitely want to get better at this, so I'm going to be taking these up, sticking them in the app, asking friends, taking photos, and just trying to learn a little bit more. So I'm pretty sure that by now the sawdust glue thing is dry and ready for sanding, and I probably got about another hour of daylight. If I'm lucky, I think it's a little bit past 4 o'clock. But before I head up there to do the sanding, I thought I would head back down to Sinead's because honestly, I'm amazed at how much progress is being made. Diggers really are a glorious, glorious thing. And yeah, so I just wanted to pop down and see what's up and share the progress with you guys as well. So Sinead has said that it's gonna look pretty bad until it looks better. It definitely looks like a building site, but they have filled in this trench here. And what are your thoughts on this amazing progress?
I mean, it's amazing when you've got some machinery, how fast you can get things done.
Yeah, we've got the old neighbor down there helping out.
Yeah.
All the guys doing their part in their red hats.
That's like the high vis around here.
The red hat high vis, yeah. But honestly, it's incredible. It's incredible.
It is incredible. It looks ridiculous at the moment, but it's going to look amazing.
It will look amazing.
It's going to look amazing.
So
Anyway,
this is the
we'll find
mysterious surprise water that was found by the digger, but previously found by the neighbor doing some divining with an olive branch. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
he knew it was here. And what's this one over here for?
There was more water, so we were just like burning it off there.
Well, you're water rich. That's never a bad thing.
I am water rich, I can tell you that.
So I'm impressed. This guy, he's a local builder just with a yard up the road from me, and he's the one that brings my sand and gravel, and he has a digger, and he does lots of stuff. And yeah, it's just really cool to see them in action. It's super fast. But right now, I've got to go work on the lintel that I've been working on for 47 years. I definitely do take my time, but I'm reaching the final stages. I just need to sand it, linseed oil it, and then put some nails into the lime sticks and then get it up in place. So let's go sand. So I've got 40 grit sandpaper on this thing. It's pretty rough. I'm gonna do a first pass and then switch it out to some finer sandpaper. So this homemade wood filler concoction is dry, and I'm really curious to see how it sands up. So it doesn't look amazing, but once I get it sanded, I don't think it'll look terrible either. It does the job of filling in the big gap, even though you can still see it there. But at some point, I just need to let go of my perfectionist tendencies and realize that nobody's ever gonna look at this except for me. And sometimes just okay has to be good enough, and I just need to let go. And I've got a lot of sanding in my future tonight, so I'm gonna keep going on this. It's gonna take a little while to get it all nice and smooth, and hopefully the lintel will be in by tomorrow because the sun is going down. It's a gorgeous evening, and I'm just running out of daylight. It's dark, it's cold, but I am determined to get this thing linseed oiled before tomorrow so that I can let it dry outside overnight instead of taking it into the house and gassing myself, because this is a 50-50 linseed oil turpentine mix, and it does get a little bit whiffy, so it's better to do it outside. But I am really happy with how the sanding thing worked with the faux wood filler that I made. I think this looks good. The linseed oil is going on really nicely. And when all is said and done, I think I'm gonna be quite happy with this lintel. And I had better be happy with this thing, because Lord knows it's taken me long enough to make it. So I'm gonna try very hard to get 3 coats of linseed oil on this thing before the night falls. And then tomorrow she'll finally be going into place. So wish me luck, and I'll see you then. Good morning. It's a beautiful day so far. I have 2 coats of linseed oil on the lintel. I'll do the 3rd one when it's in place. I've marked some lines so I know roughly where to plaster the wall to, and now I'm ready to stick some nails into the sides so the plaster grips on. I don't have so much time to work on this today because Sinead and I are heading into town later to run some errands, but I've got this morning, and I'd love to get this lintel in place, and I'd love to get going on the sill as well. So I've got this tiny hammer because Sinead has the other one, and I'm ready to bash in some nails and finish this lintel off. All right, I've got the nails in on both sides. I don't know if these things are going to cause me havoc when I try to get this thing in place and leveled up. I don't know if they're absolutely necessary, but I've always found that having the metal to grip onto the lime when it goes in, it really helps the lime stop from separating. Someone mentioned once in the comments that putting the nails into the lime will cause them to rust, and then eventually the rust will work its way through the plaster. But that hasn't been my experience so far, and I've done this loads of times, and I think the benefit of having the lime grip on is better than the risk of the rust coming through, and I generally put a really thick plaster of lime over top of them anyways. But that's way too much detailed information on lime and nails. Let's try something a little bit more interesting. Let's try my hand at some precision chainsawing as I try to hack this windowsill apart. Perhaps it's not the right tool for the job, that's absolutely guaranteed, but it's the tool I have that might actually get this thing cut. So it should be interesting to see how this goes. And maybe you can hear in the background, I'm not sure, the truck just dumped a massive load of gravel and sand over there. They're working on the road, so I'll head down there later on and check that out. But right now, let's chainsaw. So that's a letdown. I think this will actually work, but my chainsaw blade is too dull, and so are the other ones. So I think I can get them sharpened today when I go into town, if I can't find the one that I already have. I didn't see it when I cleared out the polytunnel, unfortunately, but I know it's around somewhere. So I'm going chainsaw chain hunting, and if that fails, I'll do something else. So unfortunately, I can't find the chainsaw chain. I know it's up there. I know it's in the mezzanine, but the mezzanine is unfortunately another area of terror that needs cleaning. So I'll get to that at some point. So I thought in the meantime, I'd go down and see what the progress is like on Sinead's road. But as I wander down on this overcast day, I thought I would mention that the chainsaw chain, along with many other things, has been bought for me by somebody who used my Amazon wish list. It's got a whole bunch of goodies on there, and people have purchased things very kindly for me over the past, I think, 6 months or so. And it's been amazing. And every time I get a purchase, I get a little card in it with the details of the person that bought it for me. And sometimes those people include email addresses on this little card, and I email them and say thanks. I'm gonna grab a clementine on the way past. These are very delicious. But sometimes they don't, they just leave their name. And I was pretty sure that I could log into Amazon, figure out who bought these things, and then eventually contact them in the future. And I did that recently to try to message everybody, and it's apparently not possible. So all of those little cards that were sent with the names on them, they no longer exist. Who knows where they are? And so there's a lot of people that I'm not able to thank. So for anybody out there who's bought something off my Amazon wish list, I want to say a big thank you to you. I'm sorry it's delayed. I'm sorry I can't send a personal message. Anyone in the future who's thinking about sending something, please leave your email address so I can send a little note. And I just want to say thanks to Carol, who recently bought my fermentation jars. That was recent, so I remember the name. And yeah, big thanks to everybody out there. And here we have Sinead. Hello there.
Hello.
How's things going?
Oh, we've had a funny incident.
You have. So what was the funny incident?
So I stepped away for a Pilates class and came back, and the guys are just like, you know, pushing ahead there. But they dug up the front of the house. It's not a house yet, my future house. And top security, I kept the key for the door under a stone, and the stone is no more.
And therefore the key is no more.
Oh, we did a bit of this. Oh, don't know.
This is a problem.
It's a small problem.
Small problem.
It's a small problem. Anyway, but loads of work.
All right, I'm gonna go check out the work while you try to figure out your small problem. I don't think Sinead was expecting them to go anywhere near the front of the house. I think what they've done is dug a French drain the entire way around it, so that's a surprise. And I suppose there's a lesson there. Maybe it's better to stick around when people are doing major landworks on your property, but you know, sometimes you have to learn these lessons the hard way. So given the state of the front of the house right now, I don't think there's much hope finding this key. The key is attached to a keychain with Woody from Toy Story on it, so it's not just a key. It has a little character to look for, but yeah, things are looking pretty torn up. So the French drain is looking pretty good. I feel like generally it goes a little deeper than that, so I'm not exactly sure if that's a French drain. They could be worried about going deeper because of the foundation. I guess it depends on the level of the floor inside. Yeah, so I really don't know. I really don't know. But where is the key? As you can see, it's looking pretty unlikely that we'll find this thing. So is the plan to come sift through this and see what we can find?
No.
I will help you.
Usually the door is like not even like, you know, locked. It's just kind of
Yeah, usually you can kick it open. High security around here.
I really locked that thing today. So it's somewhere here.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to help you in a moment. So I'm gonna see what these guys are up to first and summon my courage. So sometimes these things happen. I think it's kind of hilarious. It's annoying now, but it'll be funny later on. Just like when I locked myself out of the house and had to break through the wall to get in. So behind me, they're actually moving Sinead's water tank to go behind the solar, so there's a bit of shade. And they've also put a bunch of gravel on the road down as well. And I'm pretty sure they're repairing the road up here. It belongs to a whole bunch of neighbors, not just Sinead. And so I'm just gonna investigate how that's looking, because this one was pretty bad. So these big trucks have been dumping the stuff on the ground. I think there's gonna be at least 3 or 4 loads, and I guess they started up at the top of the road because this is still looking pretty sketchy. So it's not a massive stretch of road. It's maybe, I don't know, 200 meters or so, but there's lots of dodgy bits, so it'll be nice if they can get it repaired before the winter. So these guys are still hard at work, and I'm gonna go help Sinead find the key. So it looks like she's given up, and I don't blame her. I don't think there's much hope of finding a little plastic Toy Story character on a keychain. Maybe we'll see his little arm reaching out, but I don't think so. So that was pretty disastrous, but you know what we could do that might be a success? Do you want to go help me put in a lintel?
I mean, has your day even started if you haven't moved a lintel?
I mean, that's what
That's what I ask.
I keep asking Sinead every morning to come help me with this damn thing. But I think this is the final push.
It's the most mobile lintel I've ever come across.
It's good to have, you know, mobile lintels. All right, I say let's go do that, and then maybe the day will look a little less ridiculous. So Sinead is here to help me lift the lintel, but I sense a little bit of agitation. You don't believe?
I'm not agitated. I just don't know if it needs to be recorded, because we're going to do this tomorrow, the day after, the day after that. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. It's a daily routine now.
Can't you see? It's been linseed oiled and sanded and nails are in there. This is it, Sinead. This is the moment, and it's going to be recorded, and it's going to be amazing. So get your gloves on, and let's move this mofo into place.
Watch this space. We'll be doing this again next week.
Are you excited?
I'm as excited as I will be tomorrow.
All right. See that? She's a beautiful thing. It's in. It's in forever. Until the next job.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll believe it when I see
the lime around
going
it.
on the window. Yeah.
Soon.
I'll believe it.
Soon. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help as always. See you tomorrow morning. So she's in, and I'm 51% sure she's there to stay. I don't think I'll have to bring this thing down again. I want Sinead to remain friends with me. I have been asking her basically every other day to help me move this thing. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap there. This should be flush, but I think that when I sort of tilt it up, it should hopefully be level. It'll close that gap, and then the future window frame will span over the crack there. And the lime will go to here. So lots more work to do, but so far, so good. But right now, I need to get ready to go into town. I need to get the chainsaw chain sharpened, and Sinead is going in to buy some plumbing supplies to pick up a piece for her flue pipe for her stove, which has had to be disassembled again because it was all assembled incorrectly. I'll go into the details of that in a future video, but it's been a bit of a debacle, but hopefully this solves the problem. Groceries, all that kind of stuff. So I'll say goodbye from today. Goodbye, and you'll see me again tomorrow, where hopefully I'll get to work on putting the lime in place and get back to work on the windowsill. It's a new day, it's gorgeous, the birds are chirping, and I'm planning on working mostly today on putting the lintel in place. But I went to town yesterday and got my chainsaw chains sharpened, cleaned the chainsaw off. It's got a fresh, full battery in there, and I'm ready to just test it out to see if this is gonna work, because if the chainsaw is not gonna go through this thing, then I'll need to come up with another plan. And I'm a little bit concerned because when I took the chainsaw into the store, he said that the chain that was on there was actually still sharp. So who knows if that was a problem. Maybe this wood is just super dense. I don't know, but there's only one way to find out. Let's see if I can cut through this bad boy. All right, let's give it a try. So this appears to be working just fine. The chainsaw definitely rips away lots of the wood, so it's not the most efficient thing, but it'll get through this wood eventually. And then I'll have 2 pieces of windowsill, hopefully. But before I mess around with that too much, I have a lintel to level up and lime in place. So let's start with that, and then we'll move on to this probably in the next video. This view is going to be so beautiful once the window actually comes. It's already beautiful, but it's usually covered with cork because it's getting cold. As you can see, I've still got that little ½ centimeter gap here. I've tried my best. I've been bashing at things. I've been sticking shims in. I've been rocking the lintel backwards and forwards to close that. But when I do rock it, it makes it very unlevel. And as it is right now, it's looking really good this way and that way. So I'm just gonna keep things how they are. And when the time comes to put the window in, there'll be a bit of a gap, but I'm gonna close that off with some trim, which will probably be at the top, and then also the bottom over the sill as well. Because right now things are super sturdy. It's centered, it looks good, and I'm ready to put this thing in place. So I've got some lime here. It got really wet, but it's been drying out, and I think it's probably ready to use. And so let's get this thing into place finally and make Sinead very happy. And me happy too. And probably you happy out there. So sometimes stuff is just really hard to film, especially when it's up high stuff, and especially when it's things like lime, which is messy. But I have a whole bunch of stones here that I'm going to shove into the sides of the lintel, just so I use less lime to make everything stronger. I've got my trusty water bottle to wet everything down before I start to work. And I've got the lime, which seems like it's a really good consistency. It's not so gloopy, and that'll make it easier to work with in this case. So I'm going to just get on with things. So the oven has been pulled out of the way. The ladder is at the ready. The stuff I need is right here. And I'm going to get started up here in this gap. Fill in these little bits here. Probably try to pack above the lintel a little bit on the interior. Fill in all this stuff and pack this side and fill this in too. So here's the before with all the gaps on the underside and the sides. And I'll see you again when this lintel is finally secured in place. So I want to show you where I've gotten to with the work, but I can't see anything with the sun coming through. So I'm gonna vacate for the moment and go down and see Sinead because I'm waiting for the lime to dry out a little bit before I continue on with the work. I have one little tiny bit left to do still. And then when that's finished, you'll get the big reveal without the sun shining through the window into our eyeballs like it is right now. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go down to Sinead's place because she is working on a few really interesting things. And I haven't checked the progress on her road or on her other stuff in a while. So let's go down, say hi to her, see what's up, see what the worker guys have been doing, and see what kind of work she's been up to as well. So we have some pipes over there, some plumbing fixtures here, evidence of what Sinead will be working on. Hello! Hello! Ooh. This is all very exciting.
It is.
How's it going?
Yeah.
What are you up to?
It's good. I'm laying pipes and pipes fittings.
Water pipes
Water
coming from the water tank up there by gravity.
Exactly. So over here's going to be a tap.
All right.
I'm going to have another tap around the other side of the earth, which is going to go that way
Amazing.
for a future bathroom. Maybe.
We'll check your permaculture design plan and see where that's going.
Yeah. And then I have another tap that's going to the little stone building.
Amazing. And the taps are currently in the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the plumbing store?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I want to get on and like test it out, but I need to break into the stone building to get the
pump.
So it's been agreed that I'm going to go through the roof.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
That will be fun.
It'll be great crack. Oh, great crack.
We'll
It's
make
exactly
sure to
what I
film
want
it
to be doing.
When are you doing that?
Breaking through the roof. I need to get the bits. It's like it's a funny screw situation on the roof.
A funny screw situation on the roof. All right, that sounds very entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, hilariously, the pump is in there, and the pump is needed to be able to see if there's any leaks before burying all this stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always something. There's always some little hiccup, but once you actually solve these problems, you forget they were over there.
Yeah.
And so what about the work from the guys? How's it going?
They're done.
Done? Totally done?
They're finished. Yeah, yeah. They finished the top road. They finished this road. I have access to the yurt in the rain. I have drainage all over the place. I have a trench around my house. Now I need to do some sort of drainage around the house.
All right.
Wasn't
so French.
exactly in my plans, but you know, we just go with it.
Go with the flow.
Just
Another
go with
hiccup.
it. Yeah,
And when it's done, it's done.
We just go with it. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, the place looks like a wonderful disaster.
Most excellent. Most excellent. You'll be happy to hear that my lintel has been limed in place. And I'm gonna go back up and continue.
So it'll
to work on that.
never be moved again. Yeah.
I mean, never say never. Never say never. But you'll be the first person I call if it does need to be moved. But I think it's in there for good now.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Well, I'll leave you to it. It's a beautiful night. I was down a little longer than expected at Sinead's as we tried to break into her house. We tried to go through the roof, then we failed at that. We got frustrated. We tried to kick the door in. We failed at that, but I came up with an idea for an alternative way in, which we're going to try tomorrow. So that'll come in a different video. Hopefully we can get in. Time will tell. But it looks like the lime is just about good enough to use. So I'm going to get back to work on this and show you very soon when I'm done. Am I done? Absolutely not. Am I done the part I was hoping to get done? Yes, I am, and I'm really happy with it. My place is a total disaster. I'm gonna reassemble stuff this evening, tidy up, do some cooking, but this is where I'm at. So I've got the sides in, I've rounded around the edge, and same over on this side as well. And I've got this all blocked up too. The part above, I don't know if I can reach up there, maybe you can see, still needs to be filled in and packed, but this is what I wanted to get done for the moment, and I really am very pleased with the result. So it's been a crazy busy video. I don't even remember what's happened in this video. Loads of stuff down at Sinead's, loads of major stuff, and a whole bunch of stuff here too. And I got the lintel in, so that is what I was hoping to accomplish, and I did. I was really hoping to get this sill piece cut as well, but that's going to be the first thing I do in the next video. And hopefully Sinead and I will find a way to get back into her house. That's on the agenda for tomorrow morning, first thing, so she can get her water pump out and various other important things and test out her pipes and everything. So she's down there working on some electrics, which is another exciting development. And I'm gonna get back inside, tidy up, make some dinner, and call it a night and take it easy in front of the fire. But yeah, it really is incredibly stunning out here. Just wanted to show you this beautiful night sky. The weather is beautiful, and it's just been a lovely week so far. So thanks for watching as always. I'm gonna say goodbye from this one. For anybody out there who has bought something from my Amazon wish list, again, a big thanks. For anyone I haven't been able to send a personal message to, I apologize. That's my reason. I lost the card and couldn't figure out how to do it. So a big thank you to everybody, and if anyone else would like to contribute to the channel, there's information below. The Amazon wishlist link is below as well. This one has been a long video, and I'm blabbing on way too much. So let me just say goodbye, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.